Warning, this video is only for 14 and up, and if you're under, please leave this video because I will not be accused of something I don't want to be accused of. Please, if you're under, leave the video. Stories go through the air. You can listen and you cannot. But stories are here to help. Understand what is right and what is wrong. But sometimes stories can do the opposite. There's no right or wrong. You have to form your own opinion. But that is not what you're here for. You're here to listen to this silly little god of this channel. Listens to his mind going on about his stories, about the different worlds where he's traveling to, and where he can make some small different in a timeline. Welcome to the Blue Mask What If channel. Hello everybody, this is Blue Mask and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys will enjoy. Let's begin. Hello everyone, this is Blue Mask and welcome back to my channel. And yeah, we're gonna continue. What if Belle Cranel was a monster hunter? Now, the last episode where we left off was where Belle, Tyona, and Tyone, I think it was those, yeah, it was those three, if I remember correctly, went down to the seal of the dungeon in the ocean, ocean or lake part of the town they're in. I have forgotten it. So they went down to check and they found some of the divine plant monsters of the, well, new species down there. But they also find a Legiacris, if I'm correct. I need to see that back. Legiacris down in the part where the seal is and have marked that as his territory. This one were like a 9-star Legiacris and tempered, for what Belle could figure out, or probably an 8. So they had to retreat because they didn't have the gear to fight it. And for now, they will leave it alone, actually. But the last part of the episode, Belle and the others got a day off from monster hunting. And was getting a beach time. I'm sorry to say, that was kind of a false narrative. That is not a beach episode because of a little issue that will come up now. That's mostly what happened last episode, so let's begin. And, by the way, if you have any questions about all my series, and you want them to be answered not in the actual episode, but just want to ask me, leave that in the comments of the videos, and said you want this answered, then I will post that question inside of my I Play Through World series, and that question will be read out and be answered by me. So if you want to, leave your question down below. I will answer them in that series, so you guys will, well, hear my answer. So if you want that, please go ahead, leave them in this video, or in I Play Through Monster Hunter World again, or I Play Through Monster Hunter World Iceborne for the first time. So hope you guys will enjoy this video, and let's begin. We see the group walking down the, well, street of the, the town they are stationed in for quite a while. Belle, Tyona, Tyone, Lucy, all their friends that was there, except for the smith being Wealth Haruhime. No, Wealth and Mei Hatsume are not with them, but most of the fighters of the Familia is there. Even the others like Arthur Pentagon and the other newer hunters are there just for backup. But it's mostly Belle, Lucy, Eyes, Haruhime. No, not Haruhime. Belle, Lucy, Eyes, Tyona, Tyone, and Belle's brother. And Belle's brother and sister, and Lucia. Going down the port with his mother, Belle's mother, Mitsuria, to walk down towards the goddess, Tiona's and Tiona's old goddess, it's something with a C, I think. I've forgotten her as well. This arc, Melon, the city's Melon streets, and the goddess. I've forgotten. But Tiana's and Tiona's old goddess. They're walking down the street and towards the alcove, or towards an area where the ship of the Amazons were docked. Well, they were still in port, but all of the Talskira's main Familia members that was there in the mainland was at. So they were walking over to that area. Belle and all of the friends are there to make sure that nothing will go wrong, and no one would get hurt by fighting between the Familias. Because Belle's mother, Mitsuria, has gotten the order from the guild of Aurario, to, make sure they leave today or tomorrow. That's the only warning they will get before the guild has to arrest the goddess for assumedly buying monsters illegally. Yeah, the goddess that is from Telskira has bought monsters that has been uncovered by the guild and the Hunters Guild. And the other gods, Nord, that was in Melon, is also being interrogated right now by some other members of the guild, because they have figured out he has been helping them, but they didn't know if it was willingly. But these has been buying monsters illegally, so they are figuring that stuff out. But right now they are on their way to kick them out. We see Belle and Lucy talking to each other behind Mitsuria. Man, and we almost got a break for a whole day. Yeah, that kinda sucks. I mean, just when we got ready to go to the beach, we got informed by the guild we have to do this. At least it's not fighting monsters. Yeah, just kick out the goddess of Telskira. The crazy bitch as she is with her crazy Amazons. Yeah. At least one of her crazy Amazons is with me. Yeah, we know about that. Lucy just smiled at Belle, making fun of him. You got all your gear? Yeah, Outnumber said. Didn't want to go with Dragon, so fire. Same here. Did you have a feeling? Yeah, a feeling something would have gone wrong if I don't pick fire weapon. Yeah. But still, be on your guard. Something will happen. I know it. You're right about that. Both of them looked around to spot anything that would change, but nothing currently. But a little bit away from them, where they couldn't spot, a blue stallion was walking towards the area where the group was heading, with crackling lightning around it. The group reached the beach where the Volterskira Amazons were, with Bell and the others. Lucy is walking forward with Miteria, but the others are staying around, blocking the exit of the alcove, where the Telskira Amazon could not just run away. Walking inside and over towards the camp where they can see the Amazons. Some Amazon looks at them funny, but one of them ran off to get, someone. 5 minutes later, 3 people was walking over. The goddess herself with her skull head and red hair and her child form walking over with the 2, captains of her familia with her. Well, what do the so-called guild want? Is this a social call or... Enough. You are on suspicions of buying not legal monsters from Aurario by a group called Evilisk. Vitria just looked at the goddess that had a little pissed look that she interrupted. You have 2 days to move out. Pack your things, pack items you need, and get out where the guild has control. If you're not, you will be arrested immediately on the 3rd day. On the time. Midnight. You have midnight until you have to go. You cannot... This is the order of Uranus, the guild leader and the head god of the guild. You have 48 hours. Start packing. The woman that I've forgotten their names. The woman without the mask part stepped forward, pissed about her talking. What the hell are you talking about to my... Before she could continue, Bell immediately stepped forward, grabbing his knives he has on him. In the armor set that's on the side, the little side that moves up and down, on Bell's belt, he has a knife on him that he uses for human combat. He cannot use his giant weapon. Bell grabbed towards his knife that is not... Yeah, Bell grabs toward a knife that Wealth made to adventurers and grabbed it. It was a long knife, a combat knife that can fight humans, not monsters. I suggest you start packing. And who the hell are you to talk to me? One of the hunters of the guild. You've been ordered to pack and leave the area. If you don't, you will be arrested with your goddess. Continue. Talking, you will be very defeated. Sorry, my mic got cut off. Continue to talk. You will not find the answer I will give you more easier than just leaving. Belle and Lucy both has grabbed their weapon. Lucy be like a rapier like eyes, and Bell's combat knives he has on him.
I gotta.
At that point, Eyes and Tiona has already walked over to help out Bell if this comes to a human versus human fight.
Yeah, seems like you got backup.
Leave and start. Before Bell could even finish his sentence, a horse-like sound was behind, Bell and the others. The others, all of them, turned around to spot a bluish, lightning-covered horse jumping across the rocks and sands and over to their group. This was an it is an elder dragon. Elder dragon Kirin, jumping towards them, and Bell immediately grabbed his mother and Eyes and jumped away from the area, with Lucy also grabbing Tiona and Tyone, to all of them jumping away. Landing a little bit away from where the Kirin split up the group, everyone looked to see this was a huge Kirin, by the way. If you consider the tallest one, this was probably a tall one, but a little smaller one. So seeing this Kirin just showing up, I think it's a Kirin. It's the blue horse that produces lightning. Just showing up now at all places was shocking. Bell, seeing this, immediately orders, "Everyone get out of here now!" Bell stop grabbing his, adventurer's weapon. Bell grabbed his switch axe and immediately deploys it, with Lucy doing the same. Oh, this was the feeling, wasn't it? Yep, definitely. Eyes was about to draw her weapon, but Bell stopped her. "No! All of you, get out of here now!" "But Bell!" Bell grabbed Eyes' arm and Bell made her look at him. "This is not a fight you can fight, Eyes. This is an elder dragon. Make sure everyone leaves." Bell immediately looked at his mother and she nodded. "I permit you, Bell Cranel, and Lucy Romeo to fight the Elder Dragon Curious in front of us. Emergency battle. Emergency guild permission." Bell nodded at this and immediately ran towards the Kirin that was, attacking the Telskirian's Amazons. They tried to fight it, but they couldn't fight it at all, being shocked and being flown away by its attack. Bell, thinking about this stuff he had healing potion on him, he had healing max potions on him, he had double max potion on him as well, and some potion that boost his status. So immediately, Bell knew what to do. He could not drink this and protect the Amazons because they cannot fight this shit. So Bell immediately went on the attack and slammed his weapon on one of its back's legs, with Lucy cutting into the tail part and the butt area of the Kirin, shocking it, making it the Kirin trying to kick backwards, but Bell jumps back. It turned to Bell and Lucy, and Bell realized a problem. "Wait, we're wearing The armor set they're wearing is what they have on the screen. This armor set is heavily weak to electricity. Fuck. We cannot fight it like this. In an open area. A small area was also be a... Before Bell could continue planning, the Kirin immediately ran towards him and Bell dodges. We need to get out of here. The Amazons tried to fight it, but Lucy ordered them to stop, but they didn't listen. So, some Amazons, even the captain, tried to fight it, but being shocked away or being run over, Bell grabbed some rocks, beside him and shooted it into the Kirin's eyes, making it look at Bell. Come on, follow me, you goddamn monster! Bell ran away from the beach area and continued to shoot inside of the Kirin's eyes, making it follow Bell into the forest that was nearby. Lucy, seeing this, immediately runs towards where Bell was heading. She sees the others trying to follow her, but she immediately ordered, help out the Kirin! Help out the Amazons! Don't help us! You cannot fight a Elder Dragon! She immediately ran off towards where Bell was, and both of them with the Kirin disappeared into the forest. Others, like Tyona, was heavily fucking terrified of their partners. But Miteria, actually seeing what they were wearing, was pissed at herself that she allowed her niece and her son to fight the monster with the awfulest armor they could have on. Damn it! Shit! Miteria? Tyona asked weirdly. We have to head back! She pointed at the newbies hunters and said, all of you, help out the hunter, help out the Amazons. Make sure that they are okay. Tyone, eyes, we have to go to the guild immediately. We see in the forest Bell's being chased by the Kirin. But Bell fighting in the forest knocks the Kirin hitting the Kirin into some trees, getting it some damage, but Bell also got sometimes hit by the lightning, shocking him, and this was fucking painful. Damn it! Fuck! Bell ran forward into the forest when he noticed a curve in front of him that looks like a alcove or a slight downwards slope that's coming up. Alcove? Bell immediately didn't care and ran towards the area. When he got there, he sees that it's an area with water and some few rocks. Imagine the area where Toothless in How to Train Your Dragon, the first movie, was trapped in when he lost his tail. Yeah, that is how it looks. Bell, immediately seeing this, jumped down into the hole and slide down to the ground. Standing in the middle of the, cove, Bell looked around to see if the Kirin followed him. After some few moments, the Kirin jumped down behind him, Bell turning around, employing his weapon. The Kirin is fucking terrifying, but Bell still stand his ground. No Palico, no Sacred, only my healing surprise, and we don't have a tent nearby or a camp. Meaning, this is the only way to defeat it. One shot. After some few seconds of both Belle and the Kieran staring at each other, Lucy jumps down from the cliff and yells, landing on the Kieran, and started to ride it, with it jumping around, trying to shake, Lucy off. Belle, seeing this, immediately rushed towards the fight and slammed his axe part immediately into the Kieran's body, making it stumble back. But Lucy, being on it, started to, hit it with her dagger, trying to stab it, but she got thrown off by the Kieran when it, threw her off. Belle immediately rushed over to where she was falling and grabbed her out of the air. Then the Kieran started to use its, lightning strikes that makes a path of lightning. Both of them dodged towards the side, Belle towards the wall and Lucy towards the water area. Both of them immediately rushed towards the, Kieran with it started to, rush towards Belle. But Belle, standing still, threw his weapon up into the sky and counter-attacked the Kieran, making it fall down and away from him. Belle immediately rushed towards it and cuts into it once and then jumping up, slamming his axe into the ground and into the Kieran's, front of its, up below its neck. It trying to get up, Lucy immediately started to cut into the back of its neck, trying to make it die or being slain quicker. But the Kieran immediately stood up and made a lightning field around them, shocking both Lucy and Belle away from the Kieran. But this fucking was painful for them. Belle, being thrown away from the Kieran, landed on the ground, shocked. Started to stand up, but still faltering of movement. Luckily, Lucy wasn't shocked into, paralyzation, so she continued to fight the Kieran. Belle, getting over the paralyzation of, the lightning strike, looked at the ground and started to see, wait, my armor. Some of his armor set was, falling off from his mask and his chest area. Is it falling apart? Belle looked at it and saw how damaged the lightning strike was. Fuck, is this a level 8? Is this a star 8? Fuck. Or is it a star 7 monster? Belle looked at the Kieran that kicked Lucy back, making the stomach area of Lucy's armor just crack after it got hit, making some small pieces fall off of Lucy's armor. Some few armor pieces was on the stomach area of the female armor set. But the leather thing was ripped in areas. Fuck. Our armor cannot handle this. Belle immediately stands up and rushed towards the Kieran. Looking at Lucy, it did not see Belle coming from behind and slamming his axe part into the monster and repeatedly stepping forward and attacking side to side to side, making the Kieran jump away from Bell. Bell immediately swings his, switch axe to the side, cutting into the Kieran, and then switched towards the sword form of his switch axe and started to cut quicker into the Kieran. It jumped away and started to, sped up, with Bell making a move to, when it was about to attack, Bell dodged to the side and started to cut into the stomach area of the Kieran. It, being angry, stomped down and a lightning strike hit Bell with him. He could not dodge it because he was in the middle of an attack. Bell, being shocked and sent away but not was paralyzed. Lucy came in the right time to block the Kieran's, charging attack towards Bell, blocking the hit and it staggering away, but immediately made a lightning path towards them. Bell and Lucy dodged away, but when they looked at the Kieran again, it ran into them, sending them a little bit away from it. This knocked off one Bell's slinger from his arm, the rope being caught by, the Kieran stamping on the rope that was holding the slinger on Bell's arm, and it was sending away from him. Shit! My slinger! Ignore it! Bell ignored his slinger and immediately grabbed his weapon. Bell sees the Kieran charging up again. Bell immediately goes into, block it, and he did, slamming his axe into the Kieran's head, making it stagger back. Lucy immediately went over to a rock and, jumping on the Kieran again and landing on it, started to stab into its body. But this time, Bell was at the front and changing it to a sword, slashing the Kieran's sides again. It tried to knock off Lucy and, trying to hit Bell. Could not, throw off Lucy when she grabbed the head part and slamming her shield into its head, and then slamming the last time. Lucy broke off the horn of the Kieran, making her jump off, and Bell, jumping back, being beside, Lucy. After Kieran saw its horn landed on the ground, it went pissed. Immediately, the Kieran made an angry noise, and the ground where Lucy and Bell was standing electrified, both of them jumping away from the, strike. But when they look up, they see they were in the middle of the path of lightning strike that Kieran made. But when they tried to move to the side, Bell spotted, two other paths of lightning beside them. Bell accidentally jumped into this when he didn't see it, and got struck by lightning. But luckily for Bell, only the left side of him was struck by lightning. But this shattered all the armor parts on Bell's left arm. Bell screamed out in pain of this, with his arm feeling cramped. He couldn't move his fingers or whatever. Hold on, give me a moment. I need to remind myself of something. No, that was a little too far. Wait, isn't it? No, it's not in this one. Sorry. I grabbed the wrong, Yeah, it was this one. Yes. Bell. Yeah, that's on the right side. Sorry, I was looking at Bell's scar. Um, and that is on the left side of Bell. In the picture is, yeah, Bell's where his slinger used to be. His armor just was destroyed in the lightning strike, making Bell's arm cramp up. Bell landed on the ground and immediately stood up to, well, rolled away from the Kirin that rushed towards him. When it stopped, it immediately tried to, well, kick Bell with its back legs. Bell immediately put up his switch axe, but it kicked Bell away, and, well, Bell was flung towards a rock, hitting it. It was actually the same rock Lucy jumped off to get on the Kirin's back. Bell's head slammed into it, making Bell's right side and right armor set crack from the impact. Bell stopped and gasped because his air from his lungs got hit out of him. He had to stop for a moment and just gasp for air. Lucy, in the meantime, was, well, rushed towards the Kirin and started to slash its side, but it made a lightning strike. Lucy, by the way, dodged the attacks that came after. Dodged the path of lightnings it made. Lucy made strikes and bashed her shield into the Kirin when it immediately turned around and made its broken horn. It attacked with it. Lucy blocked it, but stepped away a little bit. But the Kirin made a lightning strike at that moment, hitting Lucy with it, sending her back, shocked. When she looked up in that moment, the Kirin ran over and hit her with its, well, charge attack, making Lucy fly, well, getting attacked by the Kirin's body and its legs, smashing into her and making her fall next to the water. Lucy, when she stood up from that, saw that her mask and her chest area and her, well, shoulder pads was just completely fucking destroyed. Looking over at Bell, she could see that Bell's right side of his mask has just broken off, showing Bell's face and his scar, and seeing how he was bleeding from his mouth. She also saw that Bell's right arm was just fucked. His armor was gone, showing some of his skin, and that showed lightning scars on it now. His arm, what she could see of that was uncovered, has lightning scars on him. Lucy looked up to see the Kirin looking at her in front of her. Just looking up at the Kirin that had a smug look on her. Or it had a smug look on it. Saying, yeah, I'm fucking killing you. Lucy stood up and grabbed her sword and shield. Wanted to keep fighting. The last stand of a hunter is proud, but it's also sad. So she will fight until her last breath. Looking over at Bell, Bell grabbed his switch axe with the paralyzing arm that wasn't, cramping up anymore, grabbing it and started to walk over to the Kieran and Lucy. I think I'm saying her name wrong. It's Lucy? Yeah, I think Lucy. Lucy looked back at the Kieran that looked still smug but a little annoyed that they keep fucking fighting it. It got angry and stood up on its back legs, but when it did that, Bell has reached them when he started to run over to them. When it was, doing the horse thing when it's standing on its back legs, Bell slammed his switch axe form into one of its back legs, staggering it and making the Kieran fall on the ground. Bell immediately switched towards the, sword mode and started to charge up the fire attack on it. The Kieran immediately stood up and Lucy rushed towards it, trying to cut into it, but it immediately kicked Lucy's stomach again, sending her a little bit away. Her immediately standing up to see the Kieran rushing towards Bell. When Bell saw this, he immediately just blocked the head-on attack from the Kieran with the handle of his blade, still charging his attack up. When the Kieran pushed him back, Bell jumped to the side, but at that point he jumped towards the right side of the Kieran, or right side of Bell, and just fucking slashed his blade that was charging up and cutting into it and making Bell turn the blade around and slamming into the stomach. The Kieran fucking was at its last legs at this point, being hurt by these powerful fire attacks fucking hurt it. But it turned around to strike Bell with its lightning attack, sending Bell away and almost at unconsciousness. Bell, when he was actually trying to heal himself, noticed he has taken some few healing potion in the fight, but when he was slammed into the wall, all of his medicine that he had on him was cracked and was on the ground. Lucy's, when she was, was attacked by the Kieran's charge attack, her bottle's medicine was just crushed by the Kieran's legs. So they were literally on their last legs of healing supplies. Lucy, seeing that Bell was flung away from the Kieran, rushed over to a rock and just jumped up on the Kieran's back and jumped over to its head. The Kieran tried to throw her off again, but Lucy just raised her sword and just plunged into its eye, making the Kieran yell in pain and made Lucy be flung off. But at this point, Bell was already up and over to the Kieran, and in the last moments, Bell slammed the side of his axe form into Lucy's blade, slamming the blade into the Kieran's face, into its brain, making it stop and fall over towards the left, towards the right side of it, the Kieran. It's Kieran, but it was left on Bell. Bell was standing there, holding his weapon, looking over at his cousin, aka his sister. Bell started to walk over, with Lucy being unconscious because she was slammed into the ground. She was knocked out at this point. Bell walked forward but dropped his switch axe and landed on the ground, making some of his armor parts destroyed. And Bell and Lucy was unconscious after some few moments, not knowing how much time will pass until they will be rescued or even found. This fight took around like 20 minutes or like half an hour of fighting it. It took half an hour for them to begin the fight and end the fight. And 20 minutes later, a group of people was rushing towards the forest on Sacred, trying to find the battle of, well, Bell and Lucy, when they spotted the alcove or the area down in a steep decline in the earth to spot the little cove, alcove I think it's called, of the little lake, and the area of fighting where they spotted Bell, Lucy unconscious or dead, they don't know, and the Kieran with a Raffian blade, or the Raffian blade of the sword and shield, just slammed into its head, dead on the ground. Immediately, everyone rushed. Their Sacred and the people rushed down to the ground and jumped off. The lead two that was down there was Miteria and Bell's father, Red, I think it's called, or whatever it was called, rushing towards Bell and Lucy to check on them. When they got there, they saw that Bell's and Lucy's armor was just destroyed over the battlefield, and just completely gone at this point. It was not usable at all. And that moment, they immediately took out healing supplies and made Bell and Lucy drink them. The other people that was with them was high members of the guild, well, Hunters Guild, that was with this expedition over to Melon. They immediately looked at, well, Bell's mom and dad taking care of Lucy, but they also got, well, immediately to build something that can drag, well, hoist Bell and Lucy out of this cove area. Sorry. They started to make sure they could get everyone out, but some of them went over to check the Kieran's corpse. God damn! This must be a brutal fight. Yeah. I mean, this is a big Kieran. What level do you think, what stars do you think it has? For what I can see of the damage, I think it was an 8. Oh shit, they fought a level star 8 monster? Elder Dragon? Fuck. I mean, jeez, these kids are talented. Yeah. But I don't think they have ever fought a level 8, well, Elder Dragon. Only Monster and Guardians and that thing. The Weapon Dragon? Yeah, I heard they fought it once. That's how they got their, well, strong weapons. I see. these two hunters immediately went around the battlefield to grab every single drop item that came from the Kirin, and also grabbed the parts of Belle's and Lucy's armor, putting them into a, bag they had with them. After 5 minutes of doing this, Lucy and Belle was taken out of the cove with the Kirin's corpse as well. Putting them on a stretcher, they were immediately rushed out of the forest and over to the, new guild head in Melon. We skip forward around 5 days. Belle was unconscious at this point, but he had a certain dream. He doesn't know what is happening, but he could just hear a roar. The most terrifying thing ever he could have heard in his head. When he heard this, Belle woke up from his coma, his 5-day coma, and looked around. He was not in the, hotel or the new guild area in Melon. He was back home in Aurario. What am I doing back home? Belle sat up, but his muscles were hurting and everything. Fuck, okay, that hurts. Belle still sat up in his bed to look around. He was the only one inside of his, bedroom. Looking around, he saw that he had, a pair of sleeping pants on, but his chest area and his left arm was covered in bandages. Gauze, I think it's actually called. Bandages. Gauze or bandages around his upper torso and his arm. He also had... Belle has also a headache, but not a big one. Belle did get a minor concussion, but luckily for him, his mask just caught that when he slammed into the rock. Okay. Back home, meaning the people that's gonna station in Melon is taking over now. I think so, or just delivered back home. Belle stood up and walked over to the door leading into the, living room area of his room. Opening the door quietly, Belle walked out to see, Eyes and Haruhime sitting at the table where Belle, does his paperwork. Both of them were sitting there actually helping Belle's paperwork what he has missed out on. God, I don't understand how Belle can do this. Haruhime looked at it with frustrations. Well, Belle is a little more smarter, and he's done this more often than us. Yeah, I know, but making sure every single supplies were okay and the overdue of monster parts. How does he do this? Well, first of all, I don't go one monster at a time. I usually just grab the monster parts from every single quest into one that's just the same monster. Oh, but Belle! Haruhime immediately stood up and hugged Belle, but it kinda hurt when she did that. Okay, I'm okay, but please. Do not cock me like that. Not now. I'm sorry, but you were hurt? Fucking worse than I had the wrong armor set on. Could not handle lightning. Are you okay? I'm as best as I can be. Belle. I stood beside Belle and Harime, grabbing his face. Are you truly fine? As better as I could be. At least I'm alive. Luckily for you, yes, but Harime grabbed Belle's, bent mummy arm and touched it carefully. You have scars now. I have multiple scars from monsters. Elder Dragon can leave fucking shocks on you. So, this is not shocking. But you fought a level 8-star monster. Belle, that was so dangerous. Yeah, I know. You could have died. I know, I'm sorry. But it could have killed you guys. You were wearing your armor set, Harime. Even though if you were in the background, if it just targeted you, you wouldn't have survived. Even though Ice has some other... the chicken armor set from Wild. I can't say its name. Belle says the monster's name on her or some parts. She could handle it, but she didn't have the right weapon on her. I'm sorry I did that, but meaning that you two are safe is more important to me than anything else. Okay. We understand then. Both of them just hugged Belle as carefully as possible to not hurt him. Thank you, girls. Oh, by the way, Harime walked over to a box and grabbed something out of it. Walking back, she handed the half-broken mask of Belle's armor set. Your armor. It served its purpose. To be honest, like I said, it was time to get a new armor set. Belle looked over at a mannequin where he usually have his armor set. And I think it's better way to make the armor, fight its last fight than just make it retire. Belle walked over, placing his mask on the mannequin that was there. Ice and Harime, seeing this, grabbed the parts that could still be put on, but the rest could not be. Walking back, Belle could see how his armor was fucked up. The left side of his arm, all the armor set except for his slinger was just gone. Except for the leather part that was burned off, some of it, the armor was just gone from his arm. His mask was half gone, making where the scar should be on the mask, the hidden scar, just gone. His chest area was just full of cracks, with one of the sides piece on his belt just cracked and almost falling apart, but still holding great together. Belle's belt on the belt area was scorched and burned. The ropes were burned. The leather was burned. His pants and his boot and all the ropes was just singed to hell. Belle, seeing this, just sighed. It seems I have to get a new armor set. What are you gonna choose? I think I will go for the original. I more like that one when I saw it. Or maybe something else. I don't know. Well, are you hungry? I said, walking by Belle's side. I am. I'm very hungry. Well, come on. Let's get you some food. Thanks. Belle put his arm around Eyes and Harimi, with them helping him, well, walk, because he was still helped by walking. He walks very slowly right now after, well, waking up. Walking outside of the room, Belle remembered the roar that was in his dream. And he had that suspicion feeling in the back of his mind that had something to do with the dungeon. A monster. Maybe? Or something terrified inside of it. Belle had no clue. But his familia will figure it out. And that is it from this. And it's the last part of this season. So, hope you guys enjoyed this last part of What If Belle Cranel Was a Monster Hunter? Well, of this season. It's not the last part of the series. Just this season, I will end it here. I know I've made a cliffhanger, but I hope you guys enjoyed all of this season. I know I've done a lot in Melon, but not in Aurario, but I wanted to have more set up with the guild going out towards different towns or different bigger cities to set up a guild area and just makes it just grow and help the city. And making sure that the Melon part was just complete and see how other monsters outside of Aurario was doing was also one of the things I want to tell. Instead of just, oh yeah, this is happening in the dungeon with this monster doing that. I will also see how other effects has it, with water monsters in Melon affecting Melon, and other water-based monsters or anything else around Melon. There's also different monsters there as well. I didn't do a great job, but I still want to see the effect of the Hunters Guild in the area of Danmachi. So I hope I did a great thing of that in this season. So yeah, if you have any questions about the ending, I will not tell. That's a secret. Well, at least if something happened, I will probably tell. But this is the last part of this season. Hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have any questions about this series or other series, please leave a comment in this one. Say you want this answered in a video. I will do that in I Play Through Monster Hunter World Iceborne for the first time series, and I Play Through Monster Hunter World Again series. Leave them in that series. I will answer them in the videos. Alright. Hope you guys enjoyed. Good morning, goodbye, farewell, see you later. Have a wonderful, 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 wonderful time, my blue masks. Bye-bye!